Hello, and welcome to the world of book reviews. Tonight I'm talking to Sandy Kastel, and Sandy has stories in each of these Life Choices books, all three of them. Welcome, Sandy. I'm so happy to have you here on the show.
Thanks again, Judy.
I wanted to talk to you about the different stories because they're all real different, but
Yes,
they're
they
all
are.
really good. One is about pursuing your passion, one is about navigating difficult paths. In fact, I think that's the first story you wrote, and it's never too late. So tell us a little bit about your stories.
Oh my gosh, just like that.
Yeah, just tell us about
Well,
it.
of course, Navigating Difficult Paths was our very first book.
Yes.
Yes, and in fact, I had run into you again, and we were talking, and I was talking about my life and what I was doing, and you said, well, Sandy, what do you want to do? How can I help you? And I said, well, I want to write a book. And you said, well, why don't you join us and do the Life Choices books? So this was our first one, and it was a very interesting time in my life, because my mother, we had found out that she had cancer. She had a tumor in her lung. And at the time, I was recording an album, and it was a country pop album I was recording back in Nashville and also in Los Angeles. And so I had all of this stuff going on, music, I had family stuff, I had the challenges of what we were going through with Mom, getting her over to UCLA, you know, to get the tumor taken out. And in that process, I kept thinking about this book. What am I going to write the book about? What am I going to write about? So I kind of sort of knew. And then one morning I was back in Indiana, and I woke up and I said, oh, my life has been a series of detours. And I went downstairs and I went right to the computer and I started writing the song, which I wrote, which went on my album, and that's called Detour. And then I wrote the chapter for the book. And the funny thing was, is at the time I was married, and my ex-husband is from Indiana, so that's why we were back there. And I was at the computer, and my husband kept bringing me food, bringing me food. It was like breakfast, and then it was lunch, and then it was dinner. And I was just glued to the computer, and I just kept typing and typing and typing, and it was just flowing out of me. And of course, I finished it up. We came back to Las Vegas, and I continued to write. And then I submitted the story to you, and I remember getting a notice back, and you said something about, well, Sandy, the chapters, require 2,000 words. And I said, oh, do you need more? Because I hadn't counted the words, And you said, no, you wrote 8,000 words, so we need a little less. So then I had to edit it. But in the process, what it was about is, yes, my life has been a series of detours, and everything that I've done in my life has led me here today with you.
Yeah, well, we've been we've been on the road a long time together, haven't we?
I know. We started when I was 12.
Yeah, because your mother was a model.
Yes.
She was absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
And she brought you in to go to modeling classes at Montgomery Ward.
I know.
Windy Ward, remember? And you
Yeah.
were 12, yeah.
12 years old, and I learned all of the basics from Judy Morio, and she was the Windy Ward program, and it was Charm School.
Yes.
And it was a 2-week program.
Yes.
I remember. And we learned how to do our manicure, pedicure, how to dress, how to walk, how to do our makeup, and how to do our hair. All the basics that we need to go and to take us throughout life. And those were the foundation for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of you kids that were through that program. That was such a fun program to do.
It was great. I really think that we should have a charm school today.
Okay.
For the girls. I say this because I do see a lot of the girls out there, a lot of the young girls, and even women out there walking, and I think we're wearing these high heels, and even these only have a little platform, but some of the platforms that we're wearing are like really thick, and the shoes are real high heels, and girls are walking around. The new uniform for the young girls seems to be the really, really short skirt and the really, really low top. And that's kind of the uniform when girls are going out, and they're decked out, they've got their makeup and hair done, they've got all that done, and their nails, typically they're not doing them themselves, they're going to get gel nails or acrylic nails. But the walk, how to carry themselves.
Yes.
I think they're a little stumbly, a little awkward, and I think that they could use a little bit of the skills that we learned way back then when we went to Wendy Ward Charm School
Yeah,
at
that was
Montgomery
fun.
Ward's. Yeah.
But we didn't have to deal with the platform shoes.
No, we didn't. We had the lower heels. They were only like 3 inches then.
3 inches we thought were really high.
That was really high, yeah.
I know I was walking in some platform shoes the other day and actually fell off my shoe and thought, oh no, this isn't right. This isn't right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been a long way together. Tell us about your other books. You have, well, let's go with Pursuing Your Passion.
I think Pursuing Passions was the next one.
Yes, it was.
And I think in that one, I did the 5 steps to pursuing your passion. And that came just basically out of everything that I've done throughout my life. I've been a singer, performer. I wasn't a co-author until I met you, of course. I had been working on some other books, but I still hadn't been published yet. But everything that I've done as far as in the theater, as far as singing, and as far as learning a musical instrument has been that you have to have some discipline. You have to have some tools that you learn. And sometimes we learn them in different fashions, but a lot of times it helps us if we have steps that we take. Right. 3 steps, the 3 steps to success, the 5 steps to pursuing your passion, the 7 steps to success, or whatever. And we see that in a lot of self-help books. So for me, that was what I did. I talked a little bit about how pursuing your passion sometimes changes. Sometimes we do take a detour, but
I'm going to interrupt you right there.
Are we going for a break?
Yes, we're going to take a detour and we're going to have a break.
Okay, I'm ready.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about those steps.
Pursuing your passions.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Thank you for calling Denim Revival.
Hate to say goodbye to your favorite jeans? Well, now you don't have to, because Denim Revival is here for you. Mail us your jeans and our professionals will fix it right up. We offer you all kinds of alteration services, including invisible repairs, let-outs, taperings, and original hemming, or even have your own custom-made jeans. Quoted the best denim repair shop by GQ, Vogue Magazine, and LA Times. Denim Revival, your search for alteration and repair ends here.
Love is the essence of beauty. And at Vegas Beauty Skin Center, we love what we do. Fall in love with your skin again. From our laser services to eyebrow threading and facials, everything we do at Vegas Beauty Skin Center is about helping you look your best. Come to Vegas Beauty Skin Center, where every client is number one. Call 702-722-6464. LVAC members receive 20% off all services.
Welcome back. I'm talking to Sandy Kastel, and we're talking about her story in Life Choices, Pursuing Your Passion. And she's talking about the different steps to pursuing your passion, and one of those steps is called Listen to Your Heart. Is that not right?
That's right. Judy, a lot of times when we're children, we start out and we have something that we really love to do. And then a lot of times something happens, you get married, or you go on and you live your life, you have children, and you put things on hold or whatever, and then you come back to them at a later time in your life. Right, so that's a lot about what I'm talking about in there, is that, to continue to pursue your passions. But listen to your heart, because listening to your heart kind of takes you back to, what were the things that I loved when I was a child? Did I love to paint? Did I love to sing? Did I love to dance? Because maybe some of those things might be something that you might want to do again. So it's like, listen to your heart. Listen to what your heart truly feels passionate about. Because for me, whenever I've talked with anybody and they've told me, if I was ever told, oh, what do you mean you think you can sing? Or what do you think you can do? Why do you think you can do that? I say, look, this is part of me. I can put singing and music and art on hold for a little while, but it's something that's inside of me. And when I'm doing it, I just get goosebumps thinking about it. When I'm doing it and I'm actually on stage performing, or when I'm sculpting a piece of art, there's something in me that just feels so much passion. And everybody has a different passion, but for me, that's what it is. And so it's about listening to your heart, whatever makes you really, really
Well, you're
passionate.
an incredible singer, and you have listened to your heart a lot. I don't know how many people know that you were the first girl from Nevada ever to win a talent award at Miss America.
Thank you. Well, I forgot that. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
because you went there as Miss Nevada.
Right.
And you won a talent award for your incredible voice. I think you did a jazz song, as I remember.
I did My Man,
My Man.
Yeah, which was a Fanny Brice song, and then of course Streisand did it in the movie about Fanny Brice's life. But also I was the first non-classical singer, which was a big deal then, because mostly the talent award winners were classical singers, classical ballerinas, classical pianists, and so that was nice. Singing in front of 30,000 people too was nice.
It was kind of really exciting, wasn't it?
It was.
And you're still singing even now.
Yes, I am, and I've actually am starting to delve back into it more. I took a little time off in the past 5 years. I've kept my hand in it, but took a little bit of a, put it on the back burner a little bit, and now I'm starting to do some more performances. In fact, I sang last month at Tuscany Hotel and Suites, and they just called me today to ask me about singing in July also.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great.
so.
In fact, it's interesting. A friend of mine called me, not knowing that I knew you, and said, oh, they have this fabulous singer at Tuscany. You're just going to have to go with us. You're just going to have to see her. And I said, oh, who is she? And he said, Sandy Kastel. And I said, I know her.
I know her for a while.
I've known her for a long time. Your second step, you said, is prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself. And you know, it's funny because you just reminded me of something. Judy Morio also had Universal Models. And you had it for 20-something years,
Yes,
I believe,
yes,
here
yes.
in Las Vegas. And when I was, how old was I? When I entered the Miss Las Vegas pageant the first time,
17, I
17
think.
or 18, and I went to the pageant, of course, to compete. And you and Laura, was it Laura?
Laura, yes.
Were the chaperones that took us up to the Miss Nevada pageant.
Right.
So talking about prepare, right?
Yes.
We had to prepare. And at the time, I had gained, I think, 5 pounds. It was a big deal then to me. And I remember trying to take that 5 pounds off and trying to take it off. I was solid as a rock, though. But I remember trying to take that off. So I was preparing to take that off. And by eating a little bit less protein, I think, I was eating more salads, which actually should have been eating more protein. But it worked out anyway, because I was working out. But also we had to prepare for the pageant. I had never been in a pageant before, so I did have to get back on specifically learning the walking for being in a pageant, which was a little different.
A little different than modeling.
A little, yes. Right, so we focused on that. We focused on doing my hair a little bit differently then, because for the pageants, it was a little bit of a different look. It was a little bit more of a coiffed look. Does anybody know what that word is? Coiffed. Anyway, I don't know that we use that anymore.
We haven't been coiffed for a while, have we?
Haven't been coiffed. But at the time, I had been, well, I was in high school and I was doing musicals, so I still knew how to do my hair and everything. But I had more of a natural hairstyle, and so I had to learn a little bit more about teasing my hair, you know, and having it still look natural. So a lot goes into preparation, and you'll hear from acting coaches, any kind of teacher that's teaching anything to do in the arts. I know it's all about practice, practice, practice,
Yes.
and prepare, prepare, prepare,
Yes.
and persistence, you know, being persistent.
Exactly.
So preparation is very important, especially if you want to start something new or something that you were doing when you were younger. You may have to prepare yourself
You might have
for
to,
it.
yes, yes. And you might have to, your next step, be flexible.
Be flexible, yes, because things don't always go the way we expect it.
Boy, they don't, do
Yeah.
they?
In fact, just like how long it takes to prepare a book, we were just talking about that. Sometimes you take one step forward, you take 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but you're still moving forward, right? You're you know, so you're being flexible about things and not getting caught up in if it doesn't go exactly on the schedule, even though it's still good to have a schedule.
Yes.
And then knowing that still it is okay to change a schedule if
is.
it needs to be.
Yes, it is. And your next step is stay focused.
Stay focused. Okay, I have a little challenge with this. See, as an artistic person, I have a tendency to, you know, like to do, I'm that chaos thing, you know, where you draw the circle in the middle and you go, here's me, and then here's me, and all these things I like to do. But, so sometimes I'll do a little bit of art, a little bit of music, a little bit of singing, a little bit of that. But I find that it ends up coming back to the center if I stay focused. And sometimes it might not look like it's focused, but I'm maybe gaining information or gaining experience over here. So we can remind ourselves to stay focused on the task at hand and to at least stay focused on our goal of what it is that we want to do so that we can continue that forward motion even if we go one step forward, two step back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back to that
Okay.
in just a moment. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with Sandy Kastel and her Life Choices books in just a moment.
Snap-on dentures will change your life. And at Smiles Today Dental, we now offer the lowest price in town. Mini dental implants can stabilize your loose dentures permanently. Call Smiles Today Dental for a free consultation.
Hi, I'm attorney Eric Palacios. If you or a loved one is facing criminal charges, don't go to court alone. Call me at 444-7777. We can get you the best deal and keep you out of jail. Call 444-7777.
Larry, I'm especially proud of the Westport sofa. It's 100% genuine leather.
100% leather?
Leather everywhere. And it's well constructed.
It feels great. The lumbar cushion is perfect.
And it's only $7.99.
$7.99 for 100% genuine leather? You should be proud.
$7.99, Larry's price.
Which means it's honest, unbeatable, and available to you every day. Only at Walker Furniture.
Welcome back to the World of Book Reviews. I'm Judy Morio, and we are talking about the Life Choices book series with Sandy Kastel, who is one of the featured authors through the entire series of all the books. And Sandy, we were talking about the second book, Life Choices, Pursuing Your Passion, and your 5 steps for pursuing your passion. And we were talking about being focused. And you said you had a bit of a challenge with focus,
Yes.
but I think we all do. I think we all do, because we want to, especially those of us who are real creative, because we want to do everything.
Yes.
And we want to be good at everything. But I think when it comes down to doing what it is that we have to do, the task at hand, we are very focused. I know that when you sit down to write, you write.
Right.
When you're putting on a show, you're focused on putting on that
Exactly.
show. And so focus is a big part of it. And even though it might look like we're very scattered here, there, and everywhere, we know how to focus to make something work.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point, Judy, because when I was sculpting, that was 1998, my girlfriend, Tanya Nikolic, who's an artist, very talented artist, she called me one day and she said, oh, I'm going to take this sculpting class, would you like to take it? And I said, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to take a sculpting class. So I took it, and I just got absorbed into it. So for that period of time, it was a period of time right after I had gotten married. I got married in 1998 at the beginning, and then I started doing this, this class. And the sculpture, as we started, I started working out with Roberta Sheffrin Baskin, or maybe it's Baskin Sheffrin, I forget which way it goes. But she was amazing at the Las Vegas Museum here in Las Vegas. But she had her roots since the 1930s. She'd been sculpting, and she'd worked with a lot of the masters, back in New York and everything. But we started out with a head, just a head. And I remember as I was doing that, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just started with the head, and then the head started to take shape. And then at some point I thought it was a young male, and then it became a young athletic female, and then but once the headdress went on, and I didn't know what the headdress was going to be. I knew she was Egyptian, and so there was a process that went on there, and there were steps that were taken, and there was a lot of focus, obviously. But what was interesting is I was not focusing on my music at that time. I was focusing on the sculpting, and I found that this was something that I could sit and get lost in for 4 hours at a time. I mean, I just got absorbed in it. And actually, the sculpture took on a life of its own. And I even had dreams. I woke up one morning with a dream about her whole life story. So I definitely was focused in there. However, when I started focusing again on my music to do my album, the art went on the side.
Yes.
Which is okay. But, so yes, I think focus is very important. When I do a show, I focus, I start dancing more, I start doing more of the vocalizing. I mean, I focus in on that show because I know I have a show to do.
Right, right. And then your last point in this book was be open to possibilities.
Of course, because, okay, this kind of interesting. In 2016, of course, I went through a lot of changes. You know, in 2011, I lost a lot of my family members. In 2013, I started going through a divorce. In 2016, at the beginning of the year, I remember saying, I'm going to be open to see what bless you.
Excuse me. Now I'm going to have an allergy attack right here in front of you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. You got to be open to the possibilities. See?
So,
but I really was open to the possibilities in 2016. I went into the beginning of the year and I said, I want to see what comes in this year. And whenever anybody asked me something, I said, I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. Let me see. So I got a lot of things coming into my life that year. Some of it came and went. Some of it stuck. Some of it stayed.
And that's when you started the TV show as well, isn't it?
Well, no, I really started in 2012. The radio.
Radio,
TV, and I was doing that for about 5 years. But I was more open to other possibilities, which actually took me into a little bit of a different direction, more of an entrepreneurial direction, which opened my eyes to being able to bring people together for funding for projects.
Right, right. And you're the founder of Women in Music and Arts.
Yes, WIMA. WIMA. Women in Music and Arts, empowering artists of all ages through education, mentoring, and scholarships. Yes.
And it's an incredible organization. And
Thank you.
how long has it's been around quite a while
2012.
Now. 2012,
Yes,
yeah. So
and we do events and we give scholarships. So
yeah, because I think I spoke at one of your first events.
you did. You were there at the
Yeah.
beginning.
And they're amazing. I think I'm getting old.
No. You're just getting better.
Right. Well,
Actually, we're getting more experienced if you think about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll let you.
Yes, and now that we're talking about that, it's never too late.
It's never too late. Exactly.
It's a perfect intro to that.
Well, you know, sometimes you mentioned something earlier, but sometimes we're not ready. We're coming into our own in certain areas. It's never too late. There are times when our life experience is what brings us to a certain point that we're ready to do something. Just like in 2016, I had never done anything in finance or never done anything with funding for projects. And when I opened myself up to the possibilities of what else could come into my life, that came in. I started working with a hedge fund. I started working with, funding groups.
Right.
And I started working with buyers that were developers. And it opened myself up to a whole different world, which is totally foreign to everything else I'd been doing, which was all entertainment based.
And also, you have a couple of your CDs here.
Yep.
Sandy Kastel this time around, and Sandy Kastel, the event only in Las Vegas.
Yes, and there is a third one that is the country pop album that was all original material.
Oh.
And I just don't have that printed because I did do it was on all the radio stations, 386 radio stations around the country, and also I hear that my video is still played on CMT.
That's wonderful.
Which is great.
That's
I never
wonderful.
get to see it, but other people get to see it.
Well, it's always so much fun to be around you, and thank you so much for being a guest
Thank
on
you.
the show tonight. Would you please tell our audience how they can get your books and your CDs?
Well, of course, you can always go to lifechoices.com because you actually have a special going on right now. I saw in the new Life Choices book, which is all 4 of the series for something like $45,
Right.
which is a wonderful way to get them. But also you can get them through my website at sandykastel.com or any of my Facebook pages, which is just Google my name, Sandy Kastel, with a K, Kastel. And of course, I do talk about being fit and fabulous forever, and I am working on that book, putting that all together and continuing to grow, and I hope to be part of the next Life Choices book coming up.
We know you're a part of the next Life Choices book coming up, and so we'll have you back on the show with that one.
Good.
And also with your Fit and Fabulous Forever.
Great.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure.
And thank you for being an inspiration for all of us,
Oh,
including me, since I was 12 years old.
Thanks. And thank you for watching the World of Book Reviews. Thank my producer, Amy Kardashian, who's absolutely fabulous. And we hope that you'll be back with us again for one of our other shows. You can watch any of these shows archived on akexperttv.com. That's akexperttv.com. Thank you. Good night.